Hi, welcome guys to our documentary, and today we are dealing with two famous English painters of the 18th century, Thomas Gainsborough and William Hogarth. So let's get started. First we have Thomas Gainsborough. Born in 1727, he is an English portraitist and landscape painter during the 18th century. At the beginning of his career, he realized a lot of landscape work between 1740 and 1750, such as Corner Wood in 1748, the Harvest Wagon in 1751, and Landscape with Stream and Weir in 1753. Then he decided to switch from a landscaper artist to a portraitist of the high society artist when he started to gain a lot of influence. He is also known to be a founding member of the Royal Academy of Arts. He realized a lot of works during his career, but two of the most famous works he did was first Mr. and Mrs. Andrew in 1750, where we can see a young couple, Robert Andrews and Francis Carter. When Andrew is shown holding a gun, while Francis sits elegantly beside him. This work emphasizes Gainsborough's attention to detail, use of contrast, and how he represents the beauty of a landscape. And then we have Blue Boy in 1770, when we can see a young man standing against a landscape background. He has a blue outfit, he looks confident, he has a direct gaze in order to strike our attention. This work shows the masterful use of color and the elegance of high society.
Well, now that we've discovered Thomas Gainsborough, it's time to discover William Hogarth. William Hogarth is an 18th century artist. He was born on November 10 of 1697 and died on October 26 of 1764. He is an English engraver, painter, philanthropist, and satirist. He is known for his biting portraits of 18th century English society, sometimes going into satire. He is admired by Diderot, who considers him a man full of knowledge. He became popular by illustrating in series of paintings the troubles and debaucheries of contemporary characters. He disseminates his works through the engraving process. If we were to remember three of his works, we can remember the following. First, we have Before. It was made in 1731. It's a painting, an oil on canvas. On this work, we see rejection on the part of the woman. It seems that she rejects the man who seems to have attached himself to her. There are many shades of color, which makes alive what surrounds them. Then we have the second work called After. It was made also in 1731. It's also an oil on canvas, but the scene is very different compared to Before. The woman is very attached to the man, and she never takes her eyes off him. A passionate love is perhaps instead between the two characters. The last work to remember is Miss Mary Edwards. It's a portrait of a friend of William Hogarth, Mary Edwards, who is a British patron of the upper middle class. This portrait was made in 1742, 1 year before the young woman's death.
Now that we have described both of the artists, let's see their common points and differences. So for the common points, we can tell that they are both influential painters of the 18th century. Then we can see that they are both members of the Royal Academy. And thirdly, we can see that they have a big impact on the development of British painting. For the differences, we can emphasize is that they don't have the same objective in their works. For Hogarth, is more like a satirist, so he want to do some moral about the people of the century, while Gainsborough want to show the beauty of the landscape and the people at the time. And also they don't have the same technique because Hogarth works were more detailed when in Gainsborough works it's more like an expressive way and a fluid way to paint his works.
Artists are not the same in their way of being, in their way of working. They are different, but with a single work, they can be brought together by finding commonalities. Thomas Gainsborough and William Hogarth have one thing in common. They look like a francophone artist named Louis Léopold Boilly. Here is why.
The reason is because, like Hogarth, he is a satirist and he criticizes high society, but it means that he still represents these people, so we can link to Gainsborough too, especially with the work At the Entrance in 1796. In his work, we can see the representation of high society people with two women and a satire of the representation of their clothes. And he also criticizes the fact that they think they were superior to lower classes people as he made the little girl not looking at us.